Hi, how are you?
Good. It's so nice to see you.
It's so good to see you
I'm
too.
so happy you came to visit.
Thank you. Thank you for the wonderful dinner.
You're welcome.
So everyone, this is Andrea Trank. She's been a really good friend of mine on and off the tennis court over the years. And she has kind of been that matriarchy of good health with our group. And I wanted you to meet her. I think there's a lot of retired people in Southwest Florida that could learn a couple of things from Andrea. And certainly I have, given some of my age and some of the challenges at 52, some of the things that I'm going through that we're going to be discussing over a few segments that I hope you find valuable. So Andrea, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay. Well, first of all, do you know how old I am?
I don't.
Guess.
I don't know. In your 50s somewhere.
I'm 60.
Wow, amazing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and I'm very proud to be 60 because at 50 I didn't feel very well and I didn't look very well, and sort of my whole life was crashing down. My mother's diagnosis with Alzheimer's. My kids were kind of struggling. We had just moved down here. I felt horrible on and off the court, and I couldn't get an answer why I didn't feel well. And everybody else, you know, we'd go out and have fun on the court, but then I'd spend 3 days afterwards just feeling like crap, and I'm going like, what's going on with me? And so what I found out was that I actually had autoimmune issues, and it took going to 7 or 8 doctors, and, you know, doctors giving me like really stupid answers like, what's your sugar? Or, you know, it's like, I don't eat any sugar. Try to de-stress more. Well, I'm a yoga teacher, you know, and I'm like, you know, or maybe you need some medicine. And I'm like, you know what, I'm going to go research this on my own. And really my mother's illness, I'm sure, triggered some of my symptoms, but it also triggered my understanding of, you know, that my mom, she had autoimmune and it turned into Alzheimer's. And I have autoimmune and mine turned into Hashimoto's thyroiditis. So, you know, there's about 100, 150 diseases right now that all are basically your body attacking itself. And so when you finally realize that something is going on wrong inside of me and why is my body attacking itself, then you start on, at least for me, I started on this exploration.
Asking questions.
Asking questions and finding out not only what was wrong, but what I could do about it. So it ended up being an incredibly empowering experience, because here I am 10 years later. I am a yoga teacher and a health coach, and I'm in far better health. And I'm not perfect, you know, I'm still struggling and upping my game all the time as I learn about what could be causing this epidemic of chronic diseases that we're now facing, and especially for those of us who are 60 and older, and we want to live vibrant lives. We want to, you know,
that's the dream.
That's the dream, not to, you know, say, okay. Oh, and this is the thing that I really want to say is I hear so often either doctors telling people or even my friends telling me, oh, that's just getting older. Oh, that's just getting older. That's not just getting older.
Settling.
We don't have to be that way. I'm hoping to have 30 more good years.
Woo!
Yeah, of being a really healthy, vibrant person. I want to be at a dance. I want to be at a hike. I want to see grandchildren, and I've got one on the way.
Yes,
and you know, I want to live a good life, and I think that's what most of us want.
If somebody were to come and consult with you as you being their health coach, what kinds of things would you do with them?
Well, the first thing I do is find out what tests they've actually had and what their doctor has actually told them. You know, if you first came in to see me, I would first ask, what are your top 3 concerns? And so what are your top 3 concerns in terms of your health, Lisa?
So rosacea, which is autoimmune, I understand. Menopause is another one. And then also, sadly, you know, my mother was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, like your mom. And for me, you know, prevention, so that I had kids later on in life, and the things that I'm going through with my mom, I just can't even imagine my kids going through the same things and the challenges that I have with my mom today. So that's the top one.
So so preventing cognitive decline and then going through menopause, which in a lot of ways does trigger a lot of our cognitive decline. A lot of us, when we're going through menopause, feel like we have this brain fog, and it's very, very frightening, because for some of us, it's the first time in your life where you're like, I can't remember where I put my keys, and I can't remember somebody's name, and I can't remember words, and so you start, and then when you start to worry, maybe this is a sign of Alzheimer's. If your parent is going through that increases your stress, and when your stress gets increased, then you forget more, and it becomes this really vicious cycle. So, the first thing I would do is probably, get you tested, and not tested for Alzheimer's so much, probably test your hormones, and then look at your, we could look at your DNA report. And it's so funny, I did not have the APO4. So when the doctor did that with me, she said, okay, stop that story. Stop the story that you actually have the genetic predisposition for Alzheimer's. Now, does that mean I'm not going to get Alzheimer's? No. And if you did have a genetic predisposition, you might still not get it. The point is, it's mostly about lifestyle. That a lot of our chronic diseases today are about lifestyle, which is good and it's bad. It's good because we can control
within our control.
Exactly. Yeah. But it's bad because it's so prevalent, and it's so hard to go against what a lot of other people are doing. Just pop a pill, keep drinking, keep working yourself to death, not get enough sleep. So you do have to make some changes in your life, if you want to age vibrantly.
You had to give somebody quick advice to 5 top things that would make them feel better.
Processed foods, and this one is hard for people to understand, gluten. And the reason why gluten is so bad for, especially if you've been diagnosed with an autoimmune disease, is gluten creates what's called a leaky gut. And you don't want holes in your gut. You want the food to stay in your gut
in there
until it gets processed, and then it's ready to be shared. And you don't want the things in your bloodstream coming into your gut. So foods first. Secondly, I would say try to eliminate some toxics from your life. It's amazing that so many of the products, we come to use around our houses and things like that, we become sensitive to. And so make sure you are drinking pure water, and getting some really good exercise and stress reduction every day. And it doesn't have to be yoga. A walk, although I love yoga and I teach it, it could be a walk outside. If you live in a beautiful neighborhood, go out and enjoy the outdoors and take a walk, and then get sleep, good sleep at night. Sleep hygiene is really important. And sleep hygiene means maybe not having all that technology in your bedroom. So those are my advice.
Awesome. So if somebody wanted to get in touch with you, what's the best way to do that?
Well, everything on my website, on my Instagram, on my Facebook says Heaven Lane. I live on Heaven Lane, and so you look up Heaven Lane. It's Andrea at Heaven Lane Creations. My Facebook page is Heaven Lane, my Instagram is Heaven Lane, my LinkedIn is Heaven Lane. So find me on Heaven Lane, and I do offer people a 30-minute free consultation on their health to see if I can actually be helpful for them to be their most vibrant self as they age.
Well, and I haven't seen you in probably a year, and you look incredible. You look very, you always looked great, but you're glowing. Your skin is glowing. The meal that we had tonight was absolutely amazing, and there was a lot of thought put into what we ate and why we were eating it. So that's a whole nother topic that we'll talk about another time. So thanks, and if any of you would like to reach out to Andrea, I'm sure she would be able to help you.
Absolutely.
See ya.
Namaste. Bye.
Bye.